The Northern Ireland Parliament. The Northern Ireland Parliament existed from 1922 until 1972, for 50 years. Today exists the Northern Ireland Assembly. In the 19th century, there was a growing sense of nationalism in Ireland. And then in 1913, there was a Home Rule Bill introduced in the UK Parliament. So it was so that there were some people who wanted complete independence from the United Kingdom, for example, the Fenians, and there were people like Charles Parnell who wanted Home Rule. That would mean, and what was when introduced in 1913 in the UK Parliament, that Ireland stays a part of the United Kingdom, but it governs itself. And this Home Rule Bill then was brought into Parliament in 1913, but then rejected. It was postponed, the changes, after the First World War, which then broke out in 1913. But during the Second World War, while it lasted, in 1916 there was the Easter Uprising against the British rule in Northern Ireland. In Dublin was it. The uprising was defeated, and under military law, the leaders of the Easter Uprising 1916 executed. Then followed a guerrilla war against the British Army and the British police in Northern Ireland. Then in 1921, a peace treaty was signed. And then in 1922, Ireland was separated. The northern 6 counties became to be Northern Ireland, and the other ones the Irish Free State. In 1949, that became the Republic of Ireland. And then in 1922, when this peace treaty was done, where the Northern Ireland Parliament was founded. And that one was there for 50 years until 1972. Now, when it happened that in 1969 and the decades following, the Troubles went on. The Troubles were about that there was disagreement. Some people wanted that the whole of Ireland, full Irish independence, was independent of the United Kingdom. Other people rather wanted to stay in the United Kingdom. And in these Troubles, in these decades after 1969, 3,000 people lost their lives. Now, in this Northern Ireland Parliament, which was then established by the Peace Treaty, 1922, was then 1972 suspended. When in the 90s, John Major was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, and he helped to establish a peace process. Then Tony Blair got Prime Minister at the end of the 90s, and then Tony Blair, during his premiership, the time where he was Prime Minister, where the Good Friday Agreement was done in 1998. And with that, more peace came into the country. And while Tony Blair was Prime Minister, devolved administrations were made. In Wales, the Senate was established, or then known under the Welsh Assembly. So the Senate in Wales, or the Scottish Parliament in Edinburgh in Scotland, and then also in Northern Ireland, the Northern Ireland Assembly. And these 3 devolved administrations have power to rule in some areas. They can't rule in defense, in social security, or in foreign affairs, but they can rule in education and health. Now, and then, following the Good Friday Agreement of 1998, there was then in 1999, for the first time, that Northern Ireland Assembly elected. And the people in that they are elected under proportional representation. And how the minister departments are made, that this is on an agreement that the political parties have all the right to it, for some of them. And they can do politics in education, in agriculture, in the environment, or in health and social services. So, from 1922 until 1972, there was the Northern Ireland Parliament, following the Peace Treaty of 1922, then established after the Troubles broke out in 1969, and then suspended in 1972. And today, since 1999, there is the Northern Ireland Assembly. It was suspended from 2002 to 2007, but it is there. And that is according to the Life in UK Test Handbook, page 160.